Sam, welcome to your own private video. So first thing we have to do here is get everything to the left. So you're gonna subtract the 3x squared from both sides. So I'm gonna get a 2x squared plus 3x is greater than or equal to 2. And then I'm gonna get the 2 on the other side, so I'm gonna subtract the 2. Now, there's no like terms for all three of these, so it's just gonna be 2x squared plus 3x minus 2 is greater than or equal to 0. So your professor did it a slightly different way than we did in our class, but they did start the same way. So I'm just gonna reteach you the method we did. So this is the telephone method because there's a number that's not 1 in front. So we say 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. So we're trying to multiply to negative 4, and we're trying to add to that middle term inside here, which is 3. So that's gonna be a 4 and a minus 1, because 4 times minus 1 is negative 4, and 4 plus a minus 1 is 3. So these two numbers split this middle term up. So I drop down the 2x squared again, and then I choose, do I wanna put the 4 with the 2 or the minus 1? And honestly, it doesn't matter in this case. I'll probably put the 4 first. So this becomes a 4x, then a minus 1x, and then I drop down the minus 2. So notice that I dropped this one down, I dropped this one, and then this term became whatever these two values are split. And notice that 4x minus 1x is a 3x. So then remember, we go underline, underline, you pull out a common term here, in which case that's a 2x. And then here you're gonna have an x plus 2. And then over here, whatever you get for your parentheses here, you're also gonna write x plus 2 here. And then you say, what's missing right here that when I multiply both of these terms, I get this, and that's gonna be a minus 1. Then you have 2 of these, which means you're gonna pull it out, or just memorize that if it's written twice, you write it once. And then the remaining is the 2x and the minus 1. Okay, now this was greater than or equal to 0. So the key here now to solve this problem is to find the zeros. And so you know what number plus 2 gives you 0. Well, that's x equals negative 2. That's actually the solution for when is this equal to 0. And then same thing here, but maybe you can't do this in your head. I'm gonna let 2x minus 1 be equal to 0. I add 1 to both sides. I get 2x equals 1. I divide by 2, and I get x equals 1/2. Okay, so x equals 1/2. So now the other thing you're gonna do now is you're gonna create this number line. So you've got from negative infinity to infinity. I want you to order these from left to right. So you've got a minus 2 right here, and then you've got a 1/2 right there. Okay, from here, you plug in numbers into your, I would say I'd go into this one right here. Or honestly, you could plug into here, it really doesn't matter, but a number that's in the middle of this is, say, a number like negative 4 or negative 3 or negative 5. I would always pick the easiest number in the middle here, and that's 0. And then here I would pick, let's see, maybe 1 is the smartest thing to do. And your goal is trying to figure out, is this gonna be a positive or a negative? I don't even care what the answer is, I just care if it's positive or negative. Let's start with the easy one because I want to. This is a 0, and I'm plugging 0 into this. So let me go off to the side here. Plugging in 0 here, I get 0 plus 2 is 2. And then I get 2 times 0 is a 0. And then minus 1 is a minus 1. Well, I don't even care what number that is. I just know that that's a negative. So right here, I'm gonna put a negative. Okay, now I'm gonna plug in, let's go with 1 because I'm feeling lazy and I'm just gonna use a pattern. Plugging in 1 here, I'm gonna get 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 times 1 is a 2, and then 2 minus 1 is 1. And notice it's gonna be positive times positive gives me a positive. Now you should plug in minus 4, but honestly, I personally know that this is gonna go opposite, but I would absolutely plug in negative 4 here and see what you get. Well, let's do it anyway. So negative 4 plus 2 gives me a negative 2, that's gonna give me a negative 8 minus 1 is a negative 9. Negative times a negative is a positive. Okay, almost done here. So now what we're trying to figure out is from the very beginning, this is key. I want to know when your function is greater than or equal to 0. So in this case right here, we know that the answer is going to be in this interval and it's going to be in this interval. The other super important thing here is that it says the equal to symbol. So we are okay when the function is equal to 0. So we actually want to put a check mark here and a check mark here, because those two values, when we plug them in, give us 0. So let me tell you why. So plug in -2 plus 2 is 0, 0 times anything is 0. So these two numbers will always work for the solution if there's that equal to symbol, because these are the two numbers that make it 0. So our final solution is going to be an interval notation from -infinity to -2. And because I want to include the -2, I'm going to have that symbol, and I'll have union, and then it's going to be from 1/2 to infinity, because we're including all these numbers in between as part of our solution, because those are the things that make us positive, because this symbol means greater than or equal to. If it was the opposite direction, the less than and equal to, I would choose the value from here to here. And remember, if this symbol right there is not there, then these would be open brackets, because you're not including those solutions. Because here, this is saying when is it equal to 0, and those are these 2 points, which we include. All right, that's your problem 1.